All right, I want to talk about farming and the 6 layers that we use to gain listings in a farm. Now, in my 15 years of real estate, I've seen a lot of people do this very scattered. They do farming in a way that's very expensive. It takes a long time to get a return, right? Because they're just doing a direct mail piece once a month or whenever they think about it. And it's usually stuff like just listed postcards, and that doesn't always help in our farming efforts, right? It's not frequent enough, and it doesn't have enough value to build a relationship with the homeowner. So I want to be more strategic by layering our efforts into our farm for a leveraged effect, right? Because leverage is about using things to work less, but to get a bigger return. That's what leverage is, right? So these are the 6 layers that I want us to leverage. And this is what we actually cover in our program for smart farming, okay? The first layer is open houses. And historically, open houses have been a buyer strategy, right? Where we're gonna go out and hold an open house on the weekend for 2 to 4 hours and hopefully get some buyers. We wanna flip that around. We wanna take the same 2 to 4 hours and spread it over the week, the entire week, to get more visibility. And I don't care if anybody comes to your open house. We're not doing it to pick up buyers. We want it to communicate something to homeowners. Okay, and in our program, we teach you how to go about doing this. I've had agents who have done this for a matter of 3 weeks consistently in their farm and have picked up listings within a matter of 3 weeks. And look, it's not rocket science. And by the way, it doesn't cost a lot of money, right? Open houses are basically free minus your open house signs. It's because they were present in their farm consistently that had that work. But most of us don't do open houses that way. We kind of go out in one part of town for a weekend, and then next weekend we go to some other part of town, and we scatter our efforts all over the place. Okay. Well, if we can be consistent with open houses, then let's start to layer in something else like a food drive. I love food drives, or look, it could be community service projects. It doesn't have to be a food drive. It could be a clothing drive. But in our program, we teach a 6-week schedule for a food drive on how to go out to the community and sort of facilitate this. Because what happens is it has you show up as a human being, right? Rather than just a real estate agent. We're working with and in the community to benefit the community. And I love that. And 6 weeks of showing up and helping, facilitating this with people gives you connection and relationship, right? You're no longer just a face on a postcard, like you're the person who's helping make the community a better place. So we layer in food drives. The third layer then is social media. And what most people do right now is use it as a broadcasting tool. And that's okay, but for the most part, it's pretty ineffective. I think the biggest thing I'm seeing agents use social media for is something like come to my open house or check out this new listing, or it just goes the other direction and it's broadcasting all about your personal life. But what often gets overlooked, and I think what some of the top people who are great at social media use social media as a listening tool more so than a broadcasting tool. They're listening to their end user on social media channels and listening to what kind of language they're using, what are they talking about, what are their concerns, and they use that to inform their content strategy. They use that to inform how they add value to their target market, right? So in our program, we're going to walk you through how do you set up social media channels in such a way and get participation in those channels so that you can start to listen into your farm and what the people and homeowners in your farm are saying, okay? So social media as a listening tool or feedback loop. That's what we'll teach in the program there. The fourth layer is direct mail. Now, this is, I think, the most common thing we think of when we think of marketing to a farm, right? Just sold cards. The challenge is there isn't much value in that. I mean, there might be a little bit of interest for me as a homeowner if I know what my neighbor sold their house for. I'd be like, oh, wow, well, maybe I could sell my house for that. But beyond that, look, people buy and sell houses every 5 to 7 years. So if you're showing up in my mailbox for 5 years, side note, by the way, most agents don't sustain a marketing plan for 5 years. They sort of do it once and then stop. But if you're showing up in my mailbox for 5 years with just listed sold postcards, you're missing a huge opportunity to add value to me in the seasons where I'm not looking to buy or sell, right? Give me something else that would be valuable. Right? And in our program, we look at that. We look at not only different strategies you can do to put value in the mailbox, we look at case studies and agents in our program who are going out and implementing different types of direct mail campaigns and what's working. And listen, what's not working. I think to think that we have it all figured out in direct mail is inaccurate. I think it's naive. Consumers' preferences change all the time. We need to constantly be testing what's showing up as value. And as the people in our program test, we share that back with you, okay? So direct mail, we layer that in. Now, this is one of my favorites. Business to business is the fifth layer. People shop in and around their communities because of convenience. So every one of those businesses represents a potential member of our network to befriend, to add value to. So let's not just add value to the homeowner. Let's find ways to go add value to the businesses in and around our community. One of the ways I like to do that for visibility, for your own visibility as a brand, is to go do what I call a fishbowl. You've seen these at restaurants where they have a glass bowl and they drop in your card for an appetizer. Or you could see it at, say, a pharmacy. I've seen them there where they have a ballot box, a cardboard box for a gym membership, and you drop your contact information there. I want you to picture finding 10, 15 businesses in and around your farm that you could kind of go co-op this fishbowl program with and offer to buy something. Maybe you buy a free appetizer and raffle that off, or maybe you go, work out some type of win-win agreement where you can put your ballot box or your fishbowl in the business and then help that business by, let's say at the end, you could call everybody that entered on behalf of the business, not you. Right? Because I put my information in those things and never gotten a call from the businesses doing that. Why did the business even do it if they're not going to call? So let's find a way to help that business get more out of those efforts and show them that we're there to help them and support them. Right? The benefit to me as the agent in the farm is that then I'm going to put my brand on the ballot box. Right? So now get this, the homeowner sees our open houses multiple times a week. They've met us on their doorstep or wherever we introduced ourselves doing the food drive. They've also been participating on our social media channels, and they have seen us in their mailbox. Now they're seeing us at a business, right? And this can all be in a matter of 6 weeks. So you see, like in a very short amount of time, we're saturating our brand and our efforts into one farm. Okay. So that's business to business, and we teach you how to go about developing that network in and around your farm in our program. Now, the sixth piece of this is kind of a catch-all layer, which is creative marketing. But this could be everything from sponsoring a Little League team to I've seen people do, they sponsor the sleeves on coffee cups at like a local shop. You could do that. You could participate in the farmer's market, buy a table at the farmer's market. You could have, this is one of my favorites, you could buy a tool shed, like buy tools that the community wouldn't necessarily want to buy, maybe a pressure washer or a paint sprayer or different types of tools, and let the community know about those tools, maybe through direct mail. Let them know about those tools and that they can use them for free by checking them out, right? That's a great way to provide value. So using these creative marketing efforts is another chance for you to show up with tons of value where you're giving and contributing to the farm, to your neighborhood, right? And when you layer in these strategies, what happens is, look, you can layer in real estate stuff as well, right? But let's add more value to it than just the real estate stuff. And by doing these 6 layers, what happens is you not only saturate the visibility of your brand, but you sort of deepen the relationship that you have with the people living there, right? You become a fixture in that community. And this is the type of stuff that we explore in our program, right? We move you from having scattered efforts and scattered approaches to organizing all those efforts inside the theme of farming. Okay. Now here's the cool part. As you start to be consistent with these efforts in a farm and layering, you'll start to see an increase in your market share. When you see an increase in your market share, because the efforts that I teach aren't expensive, you will see an increase in your profit, right? When your profit goes up, what's cool is now you can buy your time back, right? You can actually start to hire people or outsource stuff so that you can spend your 20% of time doing the things that you're best at or the things you enjoy the most. And the cool part is when you buy your time back, that's where freedom shows up, right? And one of the things I get most fired up about is helping people generate a business that has great revenue so that they can live out their purpose on this planet. I don't think your purpose on this planet is to sell a house, frankly, right? I think there are other things that when we have enough money in our life, there are things in our life and on this planet that we would do to make the world better than we found it, right? And that's what I get fired up about, okay? So these are the 4 benchmarks as you move through this farming platform. What you'll start to see is these are the things that you evolve into in your business, right? And that's what we teach, right? And if this is important, if this is interesting to you, if having more time and freedom in your life or more market share, maybe that's where you're at in your stage of your career is important to you, right? Maybe you want more listings. Then I want you to scroll down on this page and see what else we include in this program, because we've got some great bonuses. And we've made this we've made this a ridiculous price, ridiculously great, because we want to help more people, right? I've got enough revenue now in my life from the people that I coach, the top producers in this industry that I coach, right? Now it's time to go affect change in an underserved, I think, population of this industry, which are early stage agents. If you've been in this business anywhere from 1 to 3 years, that group of agents are often underserved, and they're being inundated with all sorts of different strategies that are unorganized and scattered. My desire is to come back and start to help you build in some themes into your business that feel congruent with who you are, right? Rather than asking you to just prospect or just door knock or just do stuff like send another mailer or hold another open house. Let's start to find a way to bring who you are to your business, right? So that it feels congruent and you feel like in your skin about what you're doing. I can't tell you how many new agents can't find that they lose themselves, right? They're lost and it doesn't feel right and they don't enjoy it. And so then they get out of the business because they never made it fit themselves. And that's what in this program, what we're doing, we're using farming to organize our efforts, but we want to bring you and your brand, right, into this equation so that it feels like you. And that's what we do. So scroll down, look at the rest of the bonuses in this program. And if you're interested, put your name and email address in the form at the bottom so that I can let you know on December 8th when we've launched that it is now open to join. Okay. All right, gang. Thanks for your time watching this, and I really hope to work with you.